Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. That started looping, didn't it? Do you like the new video? You alright? I had to redo it. I didn't just want to talk about Maguire. I wanted to talk about Maguire and Rashford. You all good? Did you like the... I had a new lens on the camera last night. That's why it looked like it was daylight when it was, in fact, 10 o'clock at night. Righty then, what's happening? Well, we've had some updates popping out over the last day or so regarding Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford. There has been a contract update. Rashford has supposedly reached an agreement with United over a contract extension, going to be a 5-year deal that expires in 2028. All the big hitters are reporting this, so Ornstein, Whitwell, Romano weighing in. Loads of information out there. Looks like it's finally done and dusted. And as expected, to be honest, arguably the most interesting news is that he rejected lucrative offers from both English sides and abroad. I wouldn't like to speculate on who the English sides would be because generally, I mean, I could maybe see him, or I could maybe see Chelsea going in for him, but I wouldn't imagine City would have tried. Certainly wouldn't imagine Liverpool would have tried. Would Arsenal have tried? I don't think Arsenal could have afforded him, surely. So what is it? Maybe Newcastle with their newfound wealth, maybe Chelsea. Who else? Let me know in the comments. Who else do you think would have been even mental enough to offer Marcus a contract? Abroad, I think it'd be the usual suspects. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, maybe Bayern. But surely nobody outside that. I don't think like Panathinaikos was just chancing their arm, or Ludogorets. Do you know what I mean? I think it was probably those. Some comments saying like wondered Marcus might drop off after a new deal. I don't think so. I don't think he's motivated like that. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be absolutely fine, in fact. So, yeah, don't worry about him. I think another strong pre-season, start the season well, and we'll have a similar season to what we did last season. And then on Harry Maguire, he's obviously been stripped to the captain's armband. Now, this is really interesting in this whole makeup for me. That Harry decided to post this rather than waiting for the announcement from the club. Why do you think that was? Why has he got out in front of this sort of news? Not necessarily to put his side forward, but to sort of get out in front of it. Like, why is this gone out from Maguire and not been like a club statement on who the next club captain is? I find that strange that him and his media team, in fact, have gotten out in front of this. I think people look on his captaincy as United as a failure. I don't think that's too harsh in saying. You know, I think we've had, Rooney's captaincy was arguably a failure. Doesn't mean Rooney as a player was a failure, although let's not compare Harry Maguire and Rooney as Manchester United players. I think just that his time as a captain, I think all the captains that we've had, post Alex have arguably been a failure. But yeah, he's been stripped to the captaincy, which he's had for 3 years. Apparently he was angry, shocked, and upset that Ten Hag told him he was no longer United captain. And he's supposedly ready to leave the club on the back of that as well. Now, angry? Yeah, maybe. Upset? Maybe. Shocked? Really? If you're shocked, it's because you're not fucking scanning, because the number of minutes that Harry Maguire got last season, without being injured, it must be said, was less than Tyrell Malacia. It didn't even amount to, I don't think, 10 matches in a season that we played every 3 days. Why? Why are you shocked? If you're genuinely shocked, I'm shocked that you're shocked. I can't believe anyone is seriously shocked. Supposedly West Ham are interested. His value, people are just guessing, I think, at this is anywhere from 30 to 50 million. I think if someone offered 30 million, you'd shake their hand and fuck him off in a U-Haul, in all honesty. It looks like Bruno Fernandes is probably going to be the new Manchester United captain. I think that it makes sense. The decision is rumoured to have already been made and will be communicated to the group and the public pretty soon. Obviously, United will be leaving for pre-season imminently, so it makes sense to do that. Ten Hag went on record and said the new captain will be completely decided by him and would not feature a vote from the players, which is interesting, but I also like it. Azkabaz says, if Maguire stays to make a bag, blame Southgate. He'll play him regardless. Know his England spot is safe. Piss take. Maguire with a statement and United. Most protected, precious player. Interesting. SHD, football seriously needs a metric for scanning. It does. It does. There's no coincidence that the very best in the game, the people I love watching the most, are people that are just like constant scanners of the ball. Hodgie says the shocked is just media talk, though. He's not exactly going to come out and say, yeah, I didn't think it'd last this long. Miller says Maguire is surprised because he thinks he didn't play because of injuries and not because he's poor. Maybe that, yeah. That's a madness. Niels, Maguire told family and close friends in March he was heading to Spurs. Oh, did he now? I mean, the way Spurs play, I could see that, to be honest. It's just the West Ham one, Moyes coming out and saying that he likes how he plays. Them having a little bit of cash in their pocket, burning a hole because of selling Rice for fucking 100 million. I get it. You know what I mean? I get the links to West Ham. It's whether or not they can do the deal. Synth says, Steve, would I take Højlund and Ivan Toney to come in January after the ban? I don't think Ivan Toney will come in to play second fiddle even though it's United, genuinely. I think Højlund I will take. Obviously, he's a player that's got more potential. Who plays when they're both fit? I think there has to be a clear hierarchy that if this guy's fit, this guy plays. Like if you bought Højlund and Kane, well, Kane starts, right? But what about Ivan Toney and Højlund? Yeah, Ivan Toney's got the more experience, but is he as good? Do you know what I mean? So, not only that, I think United are terrified of sponsor reactions. And also, they should be wary at least of media shitstorms. Now, Ivan Toney was betting on games he was playing in. Imagine what that's like. Minimal fuss when it's Brentford, right? Right or wrong. But imagine that's Manchester United. Imagine he misses an open goal against whoever. All of the replies, all of the mentions on social media are going to be like, you had a bet on that. And that's going to get old pretty quick. And I can't imagine United want that. It's not match fixing. It's a weird sort of... I almost don't mind players betting on themselves, backing themselves. I know fighters that put their entire purse on themselves to win, risk everything if they don't, and then can triple or quadruple their money by doing so. The number of bets is a bit on top for Ivan Toney. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bets. And I just think United want to stay away from that PR fucking shit show. And I think, look, as good as a player as he is, that baggage probably puts United off, doesn't it? Liam says, I'm not giving Spurs anyone unless they want to play ball with Kane. Yeah, mate, and maybe that was something that they all thought might have been able to happen back in March. Bayern Munich are very publicly courting Harry Kane. Which you don't really see them do, and you generally don't see them lose out on a player as well. So I would assume Harry Kane is going to Bayern Munich. Jed says he only bet against his team when he wasn't playing. I don't like that though. I still don't like that. You need everyone pulling in the same direction, and when you've got a guy on the bench or not in the squad going, when you lose, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Alex says, same as Greenwood, too much baggage. Hensel in the next comment says Greenwood will be back. IQ Insane says Rashford is a form player. When he's not in form, he offers absolutely nothing. It's probably a little bit more than nothing, but I get your point. Andrew says Tony's a gambling addict. Been open about it, and the response is supportive rather than attacking so far. Do you know why it's supportive? Because he plays for fucking Brentford, right? And most people couldn't point to Brentford on a map, let alone tell you who's Brentford's biggest rival. Could they? Being very real. So who's going to give shit to Brentford? Now, you put him in a Manchester United shirt. You tell me how fast that changes. How fast that changes. Dennis says, the Tony Hoyland one is a weird take. How do I think the best team in the world are competing in every position? They have 2 options for every position. Yeah, 2 options, but not necessarily 2 options that both think they should play at the same time. I think there has to be a hierarchy and a structure. And yes, I think we need depth, but I just don't see us doing that. Abhinav says, I would assume he's not going to Bayern. They don't need to publicly court. And the fact they're courting means they're desperate and they know that they're second. Maybe, yeah, I guess that's possible. Azkabaz says, Rashford might put up less numbers, yet have a better season if we have a 9 and the right wing pulls their weight too. Yes. Damian Brown says, do I think Rashford sells the most shirts, most merch, and does the most advertisements? If so, that's why he's the top earner. Yeah. I think he probably does. Who's second, do you reckon? Bruno? Possibly the new club captain? Brian says Greenwood is better than Anthony. You cannot state that with a fact. Greenwood 2 years ago probably was, but 2 years out of the game, don't necessarily know you can state that so clearly, so factually, to be honest with you. Den's sure we could get Mitrovic for 35, 45 million. Yeah, probably half that, actually. Tariqul says he's got a real chance to come out of this with far more respect than Jones did, who was more than happy thieving from the club, leaving, reignite your career somewhere else like West Ham or Everton. I think if Harry Maguire goes to that level, he will be fine, and it won't be a massive problem at all. Abhinav says, who can we sell to Spurs to get them to sell Kane to us? Maybe Sancho. I think Sancho's a potential sellable asset for the club. I know we want depth in the forward line, but yeah, maybe Sancho would free something up for Kane. Maybe. I mean, it depends what they're looking at this season, doesn't it? Knight says Maguire should have lost the armband after the Watford game when he threw the armband after being sent off and Bruno had to go and defend Ollie from the fans. Big point. Toby says, can't believe we've not gone for Mitrovic. So obvious to me. Same. John says, Steve, which signing excites you the most for the upcoming season? Onana, I think. Interested to see how Onana. Rishav says, why aren't Saudi clubs wanting Maguire? Fuck knows. High and High says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are we to get Amrabat? I think it's a straight 5 at the moment. I think we could have got him for sure. I think it'll be later in the window, though. I think it's definitely relying on outs first. Andrew A says, is it Andrew A? No, sorry. Chris Buxton says, cheeky bid for Jordan Henderson. Why? Why would you want to sign a former Liverpool captain? Why? Why would you want to do that? Coach Zach Purvis says, off topic, but wondering as a coach, what's your favourite drill to run and why? I like possession boxes. I like them because they encompass every single thing that you're wanting to see from a technical level with your players. We do a possession box to start the game and we do it in the space to the side of a box. So, like, to give you an idea, like we do it in that sort of size of space. We do a possession box. So that is the starting 10 outfielders. And what we do is, I've got a couple of pens. I have one centre half here, and I have one centre half at the top there, and they're neutral. And then we have 4 players on one side, and then 4 players on the opposite side. And then they obviously try and have to retain possession. It's in a extremely enclosed area, which means that your touch has to be good. It means you have to be checking your shoulder. There has to be communication. There has to be bravery. There's there's a shitload of collisions, there's a shitload of turnovers. It discourages people from taking too many touches and dribbling and stuff like that. And for me, I think it's the best drill. I think it's better than a rondo because I think playing a constant one touch is unrealistic. I think in a possession, and you also don't really move enough in a rondo. I think a possession box where you're encouraged to get up, cross the sides of the pitch, move around. I think that represents football on a higher level than a straight rondo would do, which is just a little bit of pressing for the people off the ball, but most of the people that are in possession just stand still. Ian Brooks says Trafford was 19 mil. Yeah, that fucking make sense. I don't understand that in the slightest. Ian says, just my opinion, if Mitrovic was good, he'd have not been playing for Fulham for 5 years. No big club has looked at him when he has the attributes to be a world beater. Just saying, well, sometimes clubs can make mistakes. Van der Sar was at Fulham. He should never have been at Fulham. It's one of those, isn't it? Would I take Maguire into training for a few weeks? I genuinely, I would love to see how good he is at our level, because I'm sure he's probably amazing, genuinely, right? I know that Jolyon Lescott, Stephen Ireland played a Premier League 11 against Cheadle. Now, we played that same team. They put 7 past us. I believe it was like Phil Bardsley, Stephen Ireland, Alex Bruce, Omar Nias played up front alongside Papa Cisse, and they played against a team at level 8 or 9, beat them 5-2. Having seen that level of player up close, even deep in their 30s, late 30s, it's a different level. The mental game is off the charts. Dale with a super chat says, what's the possibility of playing a friendly against my local club, Denton Town? We've played Denton Town 3 or 4 times or something like that. We played them in a cup last year. You beat them 5-2 or something like that. Yeah, we've played them. Abhinav says, Van der Sar lost confidence for a while, and that time he joined Fulham. Director Me says 60 million for Maguire to Chelsea. Even Chelsea aren't that fucking stupid. Jamie says Mitrovic doesn't have the pace for top level, including Champions League, etc. Yeah, but he comes in and does something different, and I think that's what I like about him, and I think that's what a lot of people like about him. And the guy scores goals. Simple as that. Do I think Liverpool will challenge for trophies this season? Yep. I do. Ikrazil says, which academy player can I see being a main player for this season? I think the way it started, I think it's 2. Alvaro Fernandes, I'm probably going to do a video on him later this week, and Kobe Mainu. I think Mainu's the one that we're going to see the most of, I think. Isaac Hansen could do something as well. He's a very technical player, but he's small in it. Are there any paddock games between the 23rd of July and 6th of August? The 5th of August, we're in Dublin. 29th of August, we are away to Wigan Town. 1st of August, we are at home to West Didsbury and Charlton. So there's 3 games for you. Obviously, one of them being in Dublin. P. Savage says, I think people are underestimating how good we're going to be next season. I hope so. Ruben says, Mitrovic seems to be heading to Saudi Arabia. I cannot believe how successful the recruitment has been for Saudi Arabia in fucking 6 weeks. It's been bonkers. It's been fucking bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Ion says, have I seen that guy on Twitter cosplaying as me? No. Right, he says, thoughts on Felix? I think he's a good player, and there's no problem being a good player. That doesn't mean that you'd be a good player for Manchester United, and I don't think he'd be a good player for Manchester United. Dennis says, I'd rather give Hansen Aaron the chances Van der Beek gets otherwise. I don't necessarily disagree with that one. Hit me with a like button. Hit me with a subscribe. Back later today with all sorts of stuff going on. Today's my last day in the office. Tomorrow I'm going to be at home. I'll probably do a live from home in the morning. And Wednesday, me and Ronaldo Brown fly out to New York for United's pre-season tour. So check that out. Cheers for tuning in, as always. Ronaldo did say, Cristiano said Saudi was an up-and-coming league. I mean, maybe part of the reason he went there was because he was promised what's about to happen. But yeah, absolute chaos. Cheers for tuning in as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.